President Trump has once again rattled global markets with his aggressive trade policies. This time, India finds itself in the crosshairs. Trump, in his bid to reduce the US trade deficit, has imposed a new round of tariffs on a range of goods. These tariffs, designed to protect American industries, could have far-reaching consequences for the Indian economy. The new tariffs target a wide array of products, including motorcycles, auto parts, and certain agricultural goods. India, with its burgeoning manufacturing sector, is particularly vulnerable to these measures. The tariffs have already created uncertainty in the global trading system, raising concerns about a full-blown trade war. The impact of these tariffs is likely to be multifaceted, affecting various sectors of the Indian economy. While the exact extent of the damage remains uncertain, experts agree that the tariffs pose a significant challenge to India's growth trajectory. The situation calls for a measured response from the Indian government, one that protects the country's economic interests while avoiding an escalation of trade tensions. Morgan Stanley, a prominent global financial institution, has painted a rather bleak picture of the Indian economy in the wake of Trump's tariffs. Their analysis suggests that India's GDP could contract by 0.5% to 0.8% as a direct result of these trade barriers. This prediction comes at a time when India's economic engine is already showing signs of slowing down. The slowdown, attributed to a combination of factors including weakening consumer demand and a slump in investment, is further exacerbated by the looming threat of a global trade war. Morgan Stanley's assessment highlights the vulnerability of export-oriented sectors in India, which are likely to bear the brunt of the tariffs. The report also factors in the potential impact on investor sentiment, which could lead to capital flight and further economic instability. The Indian government, already grappling with a fiscal deficit, faces the daunting task of mitigating the negative impact of these external shocks. While measures such as tax cuts and interest rate reductions have been implemented, their effectiveness in countering the headwinds of a global trade war remains to be seen. While the overall outlook seems grim, some analysts point to potential benefits for India amidst the trade war turmoil. Oxford Economics, for instance, argues that India might be among the least affected Asian economies. This relatively optimistic view stems from India's lower dependence on the US market compared to other regional players. Furthermore, the ongoing trade war could lead to a shift in global supply chains. As businesses seek alternatives to Chinese manufacturing, India, with its large and increasingly skilled workforce, stands to gain. This potential influx of investment and production could provide a much-needed boost to the Indian economy, offsetting some of the losses incurred due to tariffs. However, realizing these potential benefits requires strategic action from the Indian government. Policies that enhance India's competitiveness, improve infrastructure, and attract foreign investment will be crucial in capitalizing on the opportunities presented by the shifting global trade landscape. The Indian government faces a delicate balancing act. On the one hand, it must address the immediate concerns arising from the tariffs and the slowing economy. On the other hand, it needs to focus on long-term structural reforms to strengthen the economy's resilience. In the short term, the government has announced a series of measures, including tax breaks for the middle class and interest rate cuts to spur lending and investment. While these steps aim to stimulate domestic demand, their effectiveness in countering the global headwinds remains to be seen. Looking ahead, India faces a number of long-term challenges. These include addressing income inequality, creating jobs for a burgeoning young population, and improving education and skills training. Addressing these issues is crucial not only for weathering the current storm, but also for securing sustained and inclusive growth in the years to come. The trade war, while posing a significant challenge, could also serve as an impetus for India to accelerate much-needed economic reforms.